Alright, welcome back to part 2 of our Fusion circuit board tutorial. So in this tutorial series, we are going from a working breadboard circuit in Tinkercad all the way to a completed file which we can then output on our CNC. So this is video number 2 where we're going to talk about PCB layout. And this whole video is really just giving you the tools to solve the puzzle, which is our PCB layout. So let's just jump right in here. All these components are the components which exist in our circuit. And all of these yellow lines are the connections which we have indicated need to be made for the circuit to work in our schematic window. Our job now is to physically lay out our board. Before we can lay it out, we have to turn this document into a unit of measurement which we can kind of imagine or measure in our shop. So up here you see this 50 mil and these two numbers which are a coordinate system. What this document is measured in currently is this MIL unit, mil, which is a very small imperial measurement. Now in the lab we generally measure in millimeters or metric, so we want to change this unit of measurement. We're going to come up here to the grid settings, click on that, and you can see right here, this drop down, we can change to millimeters. If you have a better time imagining inches, feel free, but I'm going to change it to millimeters for both of these settings. Okay. But now we come up here, we can see our default measurement is 1.27 millimeters, and here's our grid system. And we're going to really have to pay attention to these two numbers for this next step. So now that our page is kind of set up for us to work in, we have to create a size or create an outline for our circuit board. So these yellow lines right now are currently our circuit board. So we're just going to delete them because they're not the size we want it. We're going to delete those, and we're going to come up here to our outline polyline under our board shape tab. So there's all these tools you can make for creating the outline of your board shape. We're going to use this outline polyline because it's quick and easy and allows us to draw straight lines. And we are going to start on this little crosshair here. So this crosshair indicates 0 on our page. We want to click there and then drag our cursor over until our number up here equals 50, or as close to 50 as you can get it. Okay, so 49.53 looks good to me, close enough to 50. We're then going to drag it up here and find as close to 50 as we can get. And you don't have to be exact. We want it to be roughly 50 by 50 millimeters. Now we have a nice square circuit board to work with, so we can start laying out our components. Any circuit that has an integrated circuit like this, generally we want to focus all our connections around that one component. I personally find it is easy to route everything to this when it's in the middle, but this whole routing part is kind of just a problem-solving puzzle piece to this project. So I'm going to show you how to route it. I'm not going to show you the specific routes to take because I want you to figure that out on your own. But let's get into this. So the first step is to physically move our components around our document in a way that is easy to make these connections between terminals. So I'm going to kind of space them out. We want there to be lots of room around each one of our components, as this will make it easier to route our connections. As we can see, some of these kind of resistors are rotated in a weird way for how we want them positioned in our page. So if we go over to this modify drop down, we can hit our rotate tool, and then all we have to do is click to rotate it. So I can see these two wires are crossed. I'm going to rotate it again, and that looks pretty nice. Same there, and let's do that. Looks alright. And that one I'm not going to touch because it looks like it's going to be easy to route. And I keep throwing this word route around. Again, what I mean by route is specify where our connections are going to be made. So when I click on this route manual tool, we're going to pop up this route manual options. So there's a few things we have to change before we can start routing our connections. One is our trace width. We want to turn this up to about the 1.016 millimeters. I found this is a good width. And we want to go over here and change this to bottom. And let me explain why we're changing these settings. So this 1.016 millimeters is our trace width. And our trace width, let me show you here, is the width of this path that I'm drawing. Now by default, this is it creates a very thin path, but because we're soldering by hand and we're all learning how to solder, and we're not professionals, we want to give ourselves a nice wide path to solder to. And the second setting here, the CB bottom, this is routing all of these connections on the bottom of our copper board, our PCB, our printed circuit board. Due to how we mount our components, we want to place the components so that the leads or the terminals stick through the board and get soldered to the bottom. And so we need to change this to bottom. Okay, and then all that's left to do is highlight one of the terminals. So you see I just put my cursor over top of this round terminal and click, and it is going to highlight all the other terminals that need to be connected to this one. And here you see the reason why the placement of these yellow lines, like the direction, is not the end-all be-all of our connections. So you see this one's running through it. All that means is that I have to make a path to connect these together. And I may have not given you the ideal placement for all of these paths or components, but that is for you to figure out. So I'm going to pause there. You get to play around here with the positioning of your components and how you route them to each other. So this is kind of the puzzle I need you to figure out. So I'm going to tell you this is not the best way to do it, but I have now given you all of the tools you need in order to complete this step. So at this point I'm going to stop. I'll let you finish this up, and then when you're done this step, we'll see you in video 3. Good luck, and let's get to work.